Dad Bod Rap Pod. We are back with another interview. Every week we talk to the artists that are moving and shaping the culture. Today is definitely one of those days. Joining us in Zoom, we have Pink Siifu. What's good, man?
What's goody? What's goody? That was an amazing introduction. I was trying
Right
to
on, man.
My God, Grogu.
Oh, nice.
That's what's up, man. Where are you joining us from right now? You in LA?
I'm in Baltimore.
Okay.
I moved out of LA probably for the rest of my life, but definitely the time being. Bro, me and my shawty moved to Baltimore. We are here for a little minute, then we're gonna relocate down south, probably Atlanta.
Okay. And that's a good lead into my question. I, upon first hearing you, was like, where is dude from? You have a Southern thing. You kind of sound like you're from LA, maybe Midwest. Can you talk a little bit about your musical influences? And I know you moved around a lot too, but what are some of your musical influences that kind of help shape you as an artist?
I definitely give it up to Cincinnati, Ohio. That's where I was raised. I was born in Birmingham. I think my pops and my mom, helped me a lot with my music shit. My pops like a jazz head that like loved this trap shit, surprisingly. So he loves Charlie Parker. He loves like old jazz. Charlie Parker, he loves Miles Davis. And but he also loves Scarface and DMX. Like, so I got put onto a lot of Scarface and DMX as a kid. And then he loves Juvenile too. And then my older brother, who from Florida, he loved all the Hot Boys. So that's where I found my appreciation and love for Lil Wayne, through my older brother. And my pops listened to Juvenile. So it was like, And my mama, she's like the Prince, Earth, Wind and Fire, neo soul type. She loved Jill Scott and Mary J. Blige. But then my auntie Danny, which is my brother's sister, bless her soul, she loved Erykah Badu and Funkadelic. So I would hear a little bit of that. I didn't know I was hearing Funkadelic. I told my cousin, her daughter, that. She was like, yo, I always play Funkadelic, but I only really remember hearing Erykah Badu. And then so yeah, I loved that. And then I listened to everything that was happening. I love T-Pain. Like as a kid, I was listening to a lot of T-Pain and Lil Wayne. And then, but yeah, I always loved Badu. 3 Stacks, Outkast, Dungeon Family. That's like all my family members love that, because that's just like, that's down south Wu-Tang to us. So it's like all of my family members love that shit. So I got put on the Goody Mob and Outkast as a kid too. So I feel like all of that is a lot of, because all of them niggas inspired by James Brown, Funkadelic, and Prince. Like everybody I low-key mentioned, except for like Scarface and like Juvenile, but most of them niggas is all inspired by the same shit. So I feel like I got a good chunk of like shit to be inspired by. And like everything that was coming out as a kid, all the lean with it, rock with it, all the ignorant shit, that was my shit. So I love Soulja Boy. I love like all that shit, like for real. And then movies helped a lot too. I used to, because I didn't really want to make music as a kid. I wanted to like act and be in the movies and help movies. And I found a lot of like, first time I heard a punk song, I think was Fight Club. No, the first time I remember hearing the Pixies was Fight Club. And I was like, damn, what is that? And I was, Where's My Mind? And like Observe and Report it's Observe and Report with Seth Rogen. They got the Pixies in there too. And I like just old like rock shit. I'm like, damn, what the fuck is that? So I definitely say movies helped a lot with like just hearing that other shit that I wasn't hearing on the radio, all the rock shit.
Okay, dope, man. Thank you. Well, we're fans of your work, and I kind of want to start at the beginning and and go backwards, or start at the most present and go backwards, actually. So with Negro Deluxe, I mean, it is certainly intense. It's punk, it's noise, it's a lot of energy. But can you talk a little bit about the beginning, the intro, the Ross G sort of history? Can you just let the folks know a little bit about your history with him, why there was a dedication, and what his legacy means to you.
Man, Ras G is so important. It's kind of damn. Uh, I'm on this phone on the interview. Now, fam, where you at? I feel like with G, bro, it's kind of hard to like put in words, because you kind of, and I hate to sound like that because he just passed maybe a couple years ago, but you really had to be there to like really to get how powerful this nigga was. I mean, you can see it on Boiler Room. You can see it on like any clips of Ras G performing. But like when I first moved to LA, me and my girl at the time, I was just blown away by what LA was doing. And just all the LA, like the Odd Future shit, Top Dog shit, even this is New York, but even the pro era, everything, all the groups that was happening, but the LA production was like my main shit. So when I went there, I was like in search of that type of production. And then when I went there the first time, I got put on to like all of the Brain Feeder shit, Ganja Sufi, all of that shit. And that shit blew my head open. I love Ganja Sufi to this day. Ganja Sufi is the man. But through Ganja Sufi, I found out about Ras G. And Ras G had these mixes. He had a couple mixes. His mixes are just as far as his albums. And like he had a mix called Happy Arrival Day, Sunrise, or Happy Ride Day. So I think it's still on his SoundCloud. But he had that mix, and that was my first time hearing Sunrise. And I was like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? And so through Ras G, I learned about Sunrise. And then when I went back to LA, we would see Ras G like on a train, going to Pooh Bah. I would see him at Union Station, or I'd be in like near Lamert or whatever and see him on the train. I always catch Ras G on a train. And from that, I was like, yo, thank you. Like, thank you for putting me on the Sunrise, blah, blah. And he's just a cool nigga, like, word. And then I started seeing that nigga play at Lowen. And what him and the African Space Program used to do at that shit, like, this is too also, the LA beat scene is hella diverse. But when I first went out there, it wasn't that many heads that's Black, that's also like repping that, like the Egyptian pyramid hieroglyphics, like Pan-Africanism. Like Ras G was doing all of that in the beat scene. One like no one else doing that, like in LA or low end beat scene. So he was doing that, and the African Space Program was that double, because like it had Eagle Nebula, had Kyle Sadiq, and then I knew about his work with Zero too. And his shit was just so spiritual, bro. You could just hear it. Like everything. He was the first nigga him, Obliv, and DiBiase, but him for real was like the first nigga I saw use the SP like an instrument. Like it's like just all that shit, it just has sounds on it. And like he literally to me is like the hip hop Sunrise. Like he was really like the hip hop like beat scene Sunrise. And he just opened my head to a lot. I got blessed to go over to the space maybe twice while he was alive. I recorded there once. He didn't like what we recorded. He said I was doing too much freaky shit. Fast fact. But like I was so just geeked to be over there. He would always have some weird shit on his video, like some old, like some movies. And I just loved his whole vibe, bro. Like he really took me down that like free jazz, abstract jazz, like chaotic jazz, like journey. Like anytime I listen to a new Sunrise, I'm like, damn, like, cause that was G's thing too. G would hunt for Sunrise records overseas. So it's like every time I just come across some new Sunrise, some old wild jazz, I low-key be thinking of G. I be like, damn, G probably knew about this, or G probably would like this shit. Or even when I'm thinking like, damn, what to, because I used to tell homie, I still tell homies, but I remember Nick Hakeem, he was working on his last album. And he was like, man, I'm just in a writing funk and blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, nigga, scream. Like, do something, just scream. Like, that shit can inspire you to do it. And I feel like I learned that from G, because G has so many different soundscapes in his albums. I'm pretty sure one of them albums was made off of no inspiration. And he just was doing weird shit. And that turned into a whole album of him doing weird shit. I feel like G got, and he will always say, like, stay 5 albums ahead. Or just stay albums ahead. That's why he had so much work, because he would just shop at the different record labels. He was trying to get his ghetto sci-fi shit up off the ground. So G just a full inspiration, bro. Like, he just really reminds me of Sunrise work ethic and just like no limits. And so when I did that preview, he has a jazz, not jazz, I wouldn't say jazz, but it's kind of free jazz. He has a very like free jazz abstract song, I think, on the intro of Back on the Planet. And when he died, the next show I did, I played that before my set. It was with Ringo. I opened up for Ringo at Elsewhere. And I hadn't played a show since G died. And I played that first. And then after playing that, it was like, the song kind of long too, like 4 or 5 minutes. And like, I don't think niggas at the show kind of knew he died or knew of G. So some niggas were looking at me like, is he gonna play? But to me, I almost cried when that shit happened. And then I did my song. I kind of fucked up the first lyric because I was still like a little like, taken back. And then when I played that shit, I was like, yo, I need to dedicate something to G. G loved jazz. We both shared that free jazz love. So I was just like, I need to make something for G that's on this time. And when I first made that with Negro, I was like, this for G. I feel like G would have loved this shit. Like, so I just dedicated that to him. And everybody who even his old girlfriend, his lover who was with him to the day he died, she even heard that and she was like, man, G would have liked that shit. Like, so it was, I think I did my thing. And me and G didn't get to do a song while he was alive that he was proud of. So like I still to this day feel like I was trying to impress G. Like like me and my nigga Logi, we wanted just to impress G. We wanted G to fuck with us for real. Like, so G was like my big bro, big dog that I wanted to impress in LA. Like, cause he was on that Pan-African wave and just straight repping, proud to be Black the whole way through. And to anyone, it was him and Ganja Sufi and Zero that I wanted to impress.
Nice.
And so, yeah, bro.
I'd like to take it back to something you said in the middle of that, and I really appreciate you sharing that. The if you can't rap, just scream. I feel like that ties in neatly to kind of the overall art project of Negro and the new Negro Deluxe. There's a lot of energy, there's a lot of catharsis at work here, but it's also the website, the writing, the art, the videos. Can you talk about the overall project of what you've been like accomplishing with these couple of records?
Word. Man, I feel like you never really know until it's done, or you look up and people tell you like, yo. But I just wanted to, COVID really fucked shit up, because I remember during Ensley time, me and Mike had an idea to like, we was trying to like just do this Black Panther shit like a little bit over, or just what they did. Like, we was trying to do free breakfast spots, maybe do like a magazine that we pass out to people in the community, all that shit. We was having all those talks. And I think from that, with not doing the COVID, being able to do shit with the COVID shit, I was like, damn, how could I do all of that in a place? Like, cause to me, the website kind of feel like what you would learn at maybe a activist, a revolutionary activist, or like a Black Panther, like educational thing. That website mad educational. Even though it's poetic too, it's like you hit them links or whatever and you get like like a little 5-minute, 10-minute like history lesson or whatever. So I wanted to like add context to everything I was talking about in the album. And it was shit in the album that I didn't know of until I looked it up. It was just like shit I spoke on, shit I seen in movies, shit I seen in a couple books, shit the homies have talked to me. We talked to. So it was like even this album was a learning experience for me. And I'm like just now, not just now, but I'm like getting more into the information, all the ideologies of being a Muslim. And that was starting from that. You feel me? So that started with Negro, and then I jumped into some knowledge on the 5%er, the 5% Nation, and me and Ali actually, and that was in that too, like me learning that. So like that's why all the tracks, I'm basically I'm repping the Supreme Mathematics and like all the tracks. That's why 20 on the first one is Wisdom Cipher, because that added up, and so all of that. So I'm just like learning a lot just about shit that I've been attracted to my whole life. And I feel like that website, the album, even the videos is me dialing more in to that. And it's an ongoing process. Like it's even this album, like even like the album's old and it's out, like COVID, you still haven't been able to experience this live. And so now me and the band is getting that tighter right now. And both albums are released. We still ain't done that yet. So I feel like this is gonna be like kind of a ongoing thing in my career. I will want to do, like, I don't want to do the Negro set every show, but I would love to see like Kanye do 808s every like 5 years. Right. Or if 3 Stacks did Love Below, I would love to see that every 10 years or something. So I feel like this is mine that I'm gonna bring back like every once in a while. You feel me? Like, cause it's important as shit. And I went so deep into it, and I was sober the first album, most of the first album, because I wanted to go into it on some sunrise shit. I did it like middle of Ramadan. I was sober, one having sex with my girl. She was looking at me like crazy. And I was just trying to like really go into this album on some like, nah, this is a spiritual work. So the first album is really, I would say, is very spiritual work. And then this next one, the deluxe, is the shit I couldn't do with the first, shit I didn't have all the way completed. And it's just all of that, but it's still from that too. So it's like, yeah, I think I answered the question.
Yeah, we appreciate you going deep with us on that question. I kind of want to follow up with that and ask, you have this very diverse career. You kind of dabble with a lot of different types of sounds. You went deep into the Black Power knowledge bag, but it's presented in this format that's like free jazz meets punk rock. Did you ever get concerned about the messages that you're putting through to the music not getting through because you're not giving people the, what they would have got on Ensley or some of your other stuff? Did that cross your mind at all?
I mean, maybe, but that's why I like punk music, because that shit direct. Like, it's very direct. Like, I mean, yeah, like even like white people trying to take my shit. Like, you could take that and be like, oh, this man hates white people. But like it's just that real expression. I mean, yeah, it definitely could get lost in the sauce for sure. But I feel like it's kind of this album like this is kind of more for like 10 years down the line. Like for real. Like even finding out about groups like Def, the first black punk band, like How did I find out about Bad Brains before I found out about Death?
Right.
So it's just like, I feel like this definitely for folks that's like, oh nah. Cause even my fans, I seen some fans on Twitter like, be like, this is the worst music I've ever heard. And they loved Ensley. And I'm just like, how can you, it's really just because of them punk, free jazz, lo-fi, like noisy aesthetic that they can't even just hear that one thing. So I don't know. I mean, I can't really speak for them. I feel like they're gonna catch on because like that's the thing too. I'm definitely in phases. But if you ask anybody that know me when I was a kid or whatever, I'm still the same nigga. So even though I'm in different phases, I'm grown, I still got like the same like moral like compass and like conscious like decisions. So I feel like if you don't hear it now, you're gonna hear it at some point. You feel me? It ain't gonna get like confused with the times type shit.
Okay. So what do you feel like because of COVID and you mentioned not having all the pieces that you wanted to, can you kind of just take us into why do a deluxe? Like the first record drop and why did you decide to kind of expand on that?
I definitely feel like because of COVID, yeah. And I also, to answer your old question too, I feel like you gonna get that shit when you see it live. It's gonna be no way to question it when you see it live. You're gonna be like, oh, word, I get what I missed. But I feel like the deluxe is definitely like, man, shit. I feel like everybody dropped the deluxe in COVID, and I got hella inspired by that. I was like, yo, this is smart as shit. This is a smart way to just keep the album ongoing. If it's good. If it's a good album and you feel like you got something to add on to it. But with the deluxe, I was like, I was like, I could do that. But I could also put the rap tracks that I ain't want to put on there. Cause like it was a couple rap tracks that I wanted to put on there, but I was like, nah, I want this to be different. Like completely different. But with the deluxe, now I could talk about the shit I talked about in the punk shit. But also, I don't know, it's like two versions that mean the same thing. And I always wanted to do that shit. Like double albums. I'm gonna do that soon for the next, but I love double albums and shit that means, all right, this is the hot side and this is the cold side. Like when me and Zero finished that shit, Zero was like, Negro Deluxe is like the smoke and Negro is the fire. And I was like, yeah, that makes hella sense. Like Negro Deluxe finishes the set list. It finishes like even like rehearsing that shit with the band, the Negro Deluxe shit. I'm like, oh nah, this is a whole set now. This is a whole set. Like it just completes it. And not saying Negro wasn't completed, but I had shit that I didn't put on there. I had other jazz joints. I had some psychedelic joints that I put on Negro Deluxe that also furthers like I don't want to get boxed in at all. And like I feel like this deluxe kind of furthers that, like with some elements, with the psychedelic element. There's elements that I'm gonna put later in different albums. It shows you glimpses of that. So I just want to do that too in a way that like keeps on with the journey. And I feel like Negro Deluxe definitely keeps on with the journey. Like, cause some niggas is hearing it like, why'd he do that? But that first jazz track, that's some of my best music, period. Like that first jazz track in the Negro Deluxe is crazy. The direction. And that's like kind of my direction and kind of just the musicians I picked, how we arranged it and how I mixed it. And then the psychedelic shit that I like did with the band, like most of the Negro Deluxe shit ain't samples. It's like so I'm like, you gotta listen to it like that. I'm like, oh, like he doing it's a different bag. And in the next Be Kool-Aid album, we don't have that many samples. We working with like Ollie, is working with musicians and all that. So we kind of like trying to not leave samples behind, but just raise the bar and like actually like do what's in our head. like record what's in our head, make what's in our head without no middleman, without no sampling, without none of that. So I feel like if you listen to it like that, you see the growth.
Yeah, tell the folks a little bit about the Ensley project, especially with, you have so many different sounds, you work through different phases, and, you have dozens of projects on your Bandcamp. Can you just sort of let the folks know how it was putting together the Ensley project?
Nah, yeah, that shit was amazing. That was the first project I think I mixed. That was the first project I mixed by myself. Like knowing how to make beats and yeah. That was the first project I like fully arranged myself. And did a lot of production on. I made that in New York while I was staying in New York. And a little bit of it was in LA, but most of it was made in New York. It was just a time I just wanted to. All my albums got different sounds, so I was just like, nah, I just want to rap. There's no singing on Insta. There's no me trying to be melodic or nothing. It's just straight raps, and that was my focus the whole album. I was like, even when I wanted to sing on some of them loops, I was like, nah, you rapping on this. It's just a rap album. So I feel like that was the main mindset I was in. I was like, you rapping on everything. Niggas want a rap album, they about to get a rap album. Be rapping on everything. And that was my first time just doing, and that's why I keep saying I don't know if I ever do another Ensley, because I can't just rap. Like I can't just like not do that. Ensley sound like it should have been some singing on it from me. It was some singing from different spots, different people. But yeah, I think that's my only time doing one thing on one album. But I'm about to sing on like next album. So that's one thing. But like it's hard for me to do one thing like throughout the whole album, because I just love just diverse shit. Like I love an album that could have a jazz joint and then have a trap joint and then have a neo soul joint and then maybe have a punk. I just like that shit. I like shit like that. So I feel like Ensley was just me trying to stay one mode, one mindset, trying to, my main writing inspiration was my family. I was just trying to write about mostly my family. And I feel like that's why a lot of niggas relate to it too. There's a lot of that in there. Like you can relate that to some family member. So I feel like I'm happy about Ensley. I'm happy niggas are stuck on Ensley. That's a part in Birmingham. That's a city in Birmingham. Niggas is stuck on a city in Birmingham. And I put that out. I die happy with that shit. But it's just like I definitely am, I think, trying to beat that in a sense. Like niggas, a lot of niggas didn't get Negro. So they like, oh, okay, it's still Ensley. But I hate when I'm like, this is me, but I hate when I'm somewhere like I was with the homegirl in New York and she was trying to put her roommate on to my music and she was playing Ensley. And I could tell that wasn't her bag. But then in my head, I'm like, I got a bag for you. I got so many bags. And it's not out yet. So it's like, so that just made me like, man, I gotta get these other bags out for shit like that. Like, you feel me? Because I got music for everybody. I just need to put it out.
That's dope, man. On that note, let's dive into another bag. Tell the people a little bit about Be Kool-Aid, your project with the producer Ollie.
My God, yes. Be Kool-Aid is, man, Be Kool-Aid is so fun. It's so fun. It's so like, it's such a niche thing too. Like every time we in a Be Kool-Aid bag, I learn more about Dilla. Or I learn more about like that time period, like that Soulquarian time period. And this bag, this new shit I think we working on is very, very reminiscent, because we working with Butcher Brown out of Richmond, Virginia. And it just remind me of just like that time period where, I mean, daytime period where niggas was just passing a lot of their drum chops. Again, Questlove to do a lot of their drum chops. Just like everybody working with everybody. Producers working with everybody. Yo, play bass on this, play like we really doing like that type time. And I just feel like the Kool-Aid music is just like cookout, like fun, summer break, spring break, like seafood, soul food type energy, like just pure without trying at all, without even saying it. It just sound like that. It just sound like that. And that's my favorite shit. That's my favorite shit. It's really like making music with a family. But and then me and the homie, we were just talking because he been taking photos. Him, the homie Gabe and Jack, they've been taking photos of the whole process. And they was just saying like, yo, y'all don't really talk when y'all making music. Y'all just like, that's how it's like mad organic. Like he'll do some shit, I'll do some shit. I just listen, then I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm down to record. It's like, it remind me of just like how over here, like Mad Villain and Madlib, Doom and Madlib, like how they did that. They didn't talk a lot. It was just organic. And it's rare that you find that with a producer. I'm learning. Like as many niggas I work with, it's rare that nigga just the way he set the drums or the way he like accented that shit, it just like hit you. Like that shit. It's easy with this nigga. It's easy with this nigga, Ollie, bro. So easy.
That's dope. So we're May 2021 right now. It's getting ready to be summer. It seems like it's not going to be COVID forever. You talked about rehearsing with the band, getting that ready. What's the summer looking like for Pink Siifu? What you got coming up this summer?
The summertime, I got something coming in the summer. I got some solo stuff coming in the summer. I can't speak hella on it though. But I got some stuff coming in the summer. Okay. And then in the fall, we got some Be Kool-Aid stuff coming. Okay. And then in November, around the same time, I'm gonna go on tour in Europe. See what's good. Shit opening up. See what's good. As long as everything stay plotted, they trying to open that shit up. Sad. So I got a whole tour booked.
Is that right?
For Europe. Okay. Yeah, for November. And that's the Nico shit.
Yes.
Finally doing that shit. That's what I've been rehearsing with the band. And that shit sounds amazing. It's my first time directing a band. Like I worked with a band with Swarvy before, but Swarvy directed it. So yeah, it's fire. It's fire. I'm happy. I'm excited to get folks to see it, and hopefully I succeed in this shit because I want to keep the band work up. Like I'm a big Funkadelic George Clinton fan, so I want that big band, like for sure. So yeah, I think this year is just got some solo stuff, got some Kool-Aid stuff, got the tour, and then my group. I got a group out of Cincinnati called GKFAM, GKFAM, and I haven't made music with them in like 9 years, and we just got back together plotting on some new shit, and we already got like maybe we sitting on 100 songs. Wow. And we trying to work on an album. It's like a group of like 15 niggas from Cincinnati. And I'm working on that very, very closely. We just trying to get the music together for that first album. We could probably gonna do 2 albums, but hopefully we do that first album and it come out this year. If not, it's gonna come out next year. And that's cool with me. But I'm working on that. And I'm working on a bunch of collab shit. I'm working on a tape with Tony Seltzer. He like a producer. He like a trap producer. He's crazy. Working on a tape with Real Bad Man. They dropped some shit with Bodie last year. Yeah. Working on some shit with them. It'd be like a Siifu and Friends. just a bunch of me rapping with a bunch of features. And yeah, I'm trying to lock down this jazz shit. I want to do like a jazz series on some shit, but on some VCR and AO.jazz shit. And I gotta lock down that, but I got the musicians ready. They just got locked down that, but I don't know if that's coming this year. But this summer, expect my solo shit, some Big Kool-Aid shit, and some collab shit. Just hella collab shit.
There it is. Pink Siifu, we really appreciate you coming on and talking to us, man. Hopefully we get to do it again.
Nah, hit me whenever, yo. Hit me whenever. When I drop that, when we drop some new shit, call me back. Let's rap again.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it, man. Much appreciated, fam.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, bro. Peace.